Hi guys, this is Steve from Hezico, and today we're going to continue where we left off on creating our learning platform called Learn.Hezico. So in the first part, we created some components, we set up our project, and we created the homepage, which looks like this. Now we want to create the courses page. So let's get started. So firstly, we will create the courses page in the apps folder, so courses, and let's say page.tsx. Now let's give it an export function so that we can see the component itself, right? Courses. Okay, not, I don't know what the core says. Default export function courses. We'll say this, and we'll say this, and we'll say return, and we will say div. Okay, I'm not supposed to add that. Okay, so we're gonna do a simple. This is the courses page. Now, if we save and go back, we will see that this is the courses page. Now, we want to design the courses page. So for that, we need to give our AI some visual context. So for that, we're going to simply use paint.js. You can use Figma if you want, but to keep this simple, we'll use paint.js. So what we want is a list of modules that we can display with rectangles. So list of modules 3 and 4. Let's add some text. Let's say list of modules, and then let's draw some lines from here, and let's draw some. Okay, let me just try to draw some lines. Nope, it does not want to let me. Okay, so let's use straight lines to connect this. And okay, so on click, I'm saying that it basically branches out and like has like nodes which are like this the lessons inside the module. So we can add more of these, and I'm saying let's add some text saying on click of a module, and then let's say we click on a specific module, we say it loads up a page or an interface which has the video and then the text. So for the text, we can just represent it with lines like this, and for the video we can just say video, and we can also add the text module on click. Now let's take a screenshot of this and go to our AI and pass this in. So now we are creating the courses page. I have created the course folder and a page.tsx in there. I want you to create components. We're going to split it into components so that we can keep the code as modular as possible. Components where we have a list of modules, and on click we see branches that will have lessons, and then on clicking of a lesson we want to display the content of the lesson. Use image 1 as reference, and build out separate components and the initial code for page.tsx of the courses page. Now I've given it context on what we need, and I've also defined how the flow will work with the image context. Generally, when you're designing UI, giving it an image context gives it more information on how the design should look and what you're thinking as well. I could have explained it with text, but passing in an image is more beneficial to the process. Okay, so it wants to create course data.ts. So this is basically mock data, and for this case we will be using mock data. So let's copy this. Let's go into our src. Let's create I think we already have the folder, so let's use this lib folder and create course dot data dot ts and paste. Okay, so we have created this. Now let's see. Okay, so it wants us to install card, scroll area, and we have already installed Lucid React. So let's kill our instance. Let's do and okay, so okay, so like I said last time, we ran into the same thing. And let's scroll, oh, scroll area, I think that's like the, yep, scroll area, install. Okay, so first component is module list. Module list, so let's create that. So inside courses, let's create a components folder, and in there let's create a module list.tsx. Great. Now let's create the next component called the lesson list. Lesson list.tsx, and there we go, we have the lessons component as well. And we want to see the lesson content, so let's create a component for that as well. Lesson content.tsx. Now we will update the page.tsx to include all of that, and I am going to then explain what we did. Okay, so firstly let's fix the references, and let's see, just control C, control V, control V. Okay, so let's start our dev server and see what we get from this. Great, now let's go in here, refresh our courses page, and let's see what it looks like. Great, so it does get what we need, so it's pretty close to what we want. Let's say we want to make it more fluid and more animated, so let's firstly pass it what it created. Try to fix the styling issues. As you can see, the content is out of reach. Also create links to showcase the tree. Also use framer motion to make this more fluid. So as you can see, with giving it like visual context, we were basically able to replicate what we give it to give the AI. Obviously, it's not perfect, but it it pretty much showcases what AI can do if you give it proper context. So let's see what it generates for us, and let's see how we can use framer motion to make this more visually appealing. Okay, let's install framer motion. I think we've already done that, but just to be sure, let's double check. Okay, once that's done, okay, so as you can see, it's using slugs, and we can use slugs in our case as well. What a slug is basically, so it's courses slash, and this slug is where we can pass in the information about the course, so like the course ID, and that is basically going to use the course ID as a slug and pass it to our database to get that data. So we can basically, yeah, so we can pass in this ID C1, and this will get the data for that specific course. So to make slugs work, we just need to just do courses, and we can move our page.tsx inside of it, right? And this will pretty much update everything as accordingly. So if we do C1 slash course, oh, so slash course slash C1. Oh, also need to start my instance. Okay, npm run dev. Okay, so let's restart. Okay, as you can see, it took that slug to basically get the information from our database, so our mock data. So C1, if I pass in M2, it will, okay, it's not working. I think I have to properly set that up. ID is modules. Okay, so we don't have other like other lessons, so let's create one more. Let's call it, let's give it C2, and let's see, we want to wrap this. So let's control Z, control and control Z2. Right, just so we can double check. And ID, we have to wrap this in curly braces. Okay, great. I think modules, an array of modules. I apologize for this. Like, I need to see. Okay, so inside of here, I think we are supposed to, yeah, so modules, and in here we're supposed to say copy, paste. This becomes our second module. We can say C2. We, okay, let me just get my mock data and let's add more courses onto it. And these type of things do come up when you're developing. So add 2 more courses onto this, and let's just copy the page and see what it has made for us. So before we do anything, let's just copy and paste. What we want to do is start slash component slash course. I'm just going to, okay, so we want to get the previous folder from there. So we'll just do a control C, control V, and control V. Oh, we have to remove the course. And for the header, it's outside of our, where is it? Okay, so it's component dot, I think I changed the name for the header that way. Nope, it did not. So let's just refer that. I don't think we have to refer the header, by the way, because we are already wrapping everything inside of that. So course ID dot string module list. Okay, so let's get the module list and let's pass in the updated component. Copy, paste, and then we also copy the lesson list, paste, and we copy the lesson content, paste. Okay, so let's see what the issues are here. Okay, so we're just going to try it with our initial module, and then in the next iteration we can just add more data onto it. Okay, so clicking on this, we can see it's more animated as compared to before. And if we add more mock data onto this, so control C, and add 2 more courses onto this. Okay, and also set up a page that will lead us to these courses. Okay. Okay, so as you know, we don't have a parent page for this right now. So we have to go directly into courses. So we need a parent page. For that, we will create a new page inside of courses, page.txx. And in here, let's do an export default function course parent. Let's call it that. And I need to learn how to spell function. And let's return something, and let's just do this. This is the parent page. Okay, so if we go back to our Vercel now and go back. So once we click on this, we come to the parent page first, and then from the parent page, we'll select the proper module, and which will take us to our page. So let's take the course data which it has added for us. So we have like two modules now. So course data, Control C, Control V. We have this. Now we come here and we want to see more mock courses. Mock courses. Okay, so it's going to make these changes for us. C, Control V. And we will also have to change this to, I think I should just tell the AI that we need, this is the like the reference that we're using. But for now, I think we can just go through with that. Okay, so course card, all course pages, create. Okay, so main course page. Okay, so let's create a course card page. And inside of our components, we can say course card, card.tsx, Control V, and okay, so let's add badge. It wants us to install that, and we can say badge. Okay, it's doing its thing. It has added the badge. We just have to, yep, great. So going back to the main page, and we can just copy and paste, Control C. Just use the course card and npm run dev, and we can see our new page with all of our courses. Refresh. Great. So we can just click on one of these modules, which will take us to our courses. Right now, as you can see, it's not doing that properly. For some reason, it's breaking. Courses slash get. Let me just double check the routing. Courses. Let's go. Course.description. Courses dot advanced TypeScript. So let's just double check our mock data. Okay, so courses dot title module 2, title React state management, ID React state management. Okay, so let's pass it this our context of our folder structure. That way it can tell us if this is wrong. Going to this URL is breaking the site. So tell me based on my folder structure what is wrong. Okay, so let's see what it tells us. The problem would be is the ID isn't being passed properly. So, but we can try our, okay, we can also see that it truncated most of the page. So this could be another reason why it's not working. So we can just double check what it says, and then we can just copy and paste the problem. Okay. Courses on next. Plural. Tells the next. So however, in the page.tsx, you're trying to ask course.id string. Stop your development server. Okay, let's course in Austin's. Okay, so it gave us one solution, which is stop my development server and pass in the course ID instead of courses. So we will rename and we can try again. And it is still okay. There you go. It works. Great. So Now we can make it more visually pleasing, but I think it pretty much gets to where we want it to go. So if we have these modules and now we have these lessons and we can just go through them. It's not as visually accurate as I wanted it to be, but it pretty much gets we are trying to do, right? So it's a matter of now going back and forth with the AI and trying to polish up our design. But this pretty much wraps up the tutorial of us setting up our our courses page, setting up modular components so that we can use them anywhere else, and also setting up some mock data that we can see if our implementation is working or not. As you can see, sometimes the AI does hallucinate. Sometimes you do get confused on what the AI is trying to get you towards. But the only advice solve these problems is to just go back and forth with the AI and try to explain the problems, try to give it as much context as possible, and then yeah, trying to just solve those problems through AI. And another thing that I would mention is to try to trust what you know as well, because sometimes the AI doesn't have the latest context, and sometimes things do change inside of the libraries themselves. So don't trust AI blindly, and try to give it your context and try to trust your own judgment as well. And this was us trying to create Learn.Hezico using AI, and also just setting up our course module page. So thanks for watching.